Hey YouTube, what is up? I am Mike. Thank you so much for watching. So I'm going to check out another video here about 10 things you must not do in Bali, Indonesia. So I don't know if this is only in Bali or if this goes, across the board in Indonesia. Let me know in the comments if that's the case. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. Let's check it out and see what are the 10 things you must not do.
Bali is an incredible island with lush green rice fields, endless beaches, mystical waterfalls, and jaw-dropping landscapes. It might just be the heaven on earth that you see on your Instagram feed. After
It is
living
beautiful,
in Bali
that's
for
for
over
sure.
a year, we can say for the most part it is. However, there are a few things that you have to be aware of before planning a trip to Bali. In our previous videos, we shared the things that you must do while on the island, but here are our top 10 things you must not do while visiting the island of Bali.
Number 1 on the list, do not involve yourself with drugs. Indonesia has some...
Yeah, so that doesn't surprise me at all. I know that Indonesia is a primarily Muslim country, and that's pretty common from what I understand in primarily Muslim countries. Obviously, in the U.S., most drugs are illegal most places, although we do have a lot of places where cannabis or marijuana is legal and becoming even more so. Even in the Midwest where I'm at, I live in Kentucky, which is a very conservative and religious state, and even here we have at least legal medicinal marijuana starting in January. And if I just go 10 minutes across the river into Ohio, there cannabis is legal everywhere. So I'm not surprised at all to hear this, though.
Some of the most strict laws when it comes to narcotics, and that extends
Even cannabis,
to Bali
yeah.
as well. Just look at what happened with the Bali 9 and what almost happened to our fellow brew from Cape Town, Dan Mace. You can watch his story linked up above and in the description.
Basically, if you're caught with drugs in the airport or anywhere on the island, you can face life imprisonment in Indonesia.
Life, wow.
And if you're found guilty, you can even be executed by a firing squad. You need to complete...
Executed. Wow. Okay. that I find kind of surprising. Damn.
completely avoid purchasing drugs or bringing any drugs of any kind to the island.
Now that the most severe one is out of the way, let's get on with the rest.
Number 2, something we feel very passionate about and something we have a saying in South Africa for: don't be a puss, be lekker.
Bali is a very special place with very special locals, and they welcome you with open arms into sharing their homes, their food, their culture, and their way of life.
Please be respectful of that and don't act like hooligans like these guys.
Well, yeah, I think that goes without saying everywhere. Good God.
It's embarrassing and it gives the rest of us Boulets a really bad name. So let's just be lekker and respectful, and the locals can continue to welcome us to their beautiful home.
Number 3, don't be disrespectful to their cultures and norms. That means respect the road laws, show particular respect at the government buildings and their temples. Please don't arrive wearing revealing clothes. This is quite disrespectful and you will be asked to cover up.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that goes without saying. And that would be the same, visiting, anywhere.
There are numerous different celebrations in Bali throughout the year. Take some time to learn about the holidays, especially the ones during your time on the island. One of the holidays is Nyepi, which falls in the month of March every year. This is a day of silence. All internet will be cut and electricity turned off. No music, no noise, and all flights coming onto the island and going off will be paused. The Balinese will stay at home and perform their religious practices, and you as a foreigner are expected to do the same by staying home.
Another custom to be aware of are these things. They're called offerings, and you will find them absolutely everywhere all over the island. At restaurants, hotels, at most home entrances. So basically just be mindful of these on the floor and don't kick them by mistake.
Wow, so yeah, this one is shocking to me. I've never heard of that at all. It sounds kind of nice. If I'm being honest, I think I could use I could use a day like that once a week, if I'm being honest.
Number 4, we've touched on this before and we'll speak about it again quickly. Don't give or take with your left hand, always use your right. We've since received some clarity by our Indonesian followers, and that has to do with the left hand is used for your toilet duties, so it's seemed as the dirty hand. And so that's why you don't.
I don't know if I could do that with my left hand, to be honest with you. Wow. Yeah, I've never heard of this before at all. I mean, I'm right-handed, so I probably naturally would use my right hand for most things anyway. But wow, that is very interesting.
Give and take with that hand, rather use your right. It's not a law or anything, but it is just respectful to be mindful of it, and the locals will appreciate the little touch of you doing that.
Number 5, don't litter. While this isn't illegal like it
Anywhere.
is in Singapore, we think it is still something very important to keep in mind. If you are a visitor to any place, don't you think it's best practice to leave that place in better condition than when you found it?
Leave nothing but your own footprints. Even
Absolutely.
better still, if you happen to walk by a piece of litter, please pick it up. It's a huge issue on the island, and it's spreading to neighboring islands like Nusa Penida. There are very little bins, and a lot of people think that it's normal to just drop litter down onto the ground and it'll be picked up by
definitely
a team
not.
of cleaners like it is in places like Japan. But unfortunately, that's not the case. We, as the visitors of the island, are responsible for picking up that.
Wait, do people just litter all over the place in Japan, and that's normal? There's plenty of litter in the United States, but it is very much looked down on by most sane people. That's crazy to me.
Mess that we leave behind.
So let's try to do our part to preserve this incredible place, not only for ourselves and our future visits, but also for the next generation, so that one day they can also experience the magic of visiting Bali.
Number 6, don't be angry if you get hooted at. In
What is
Asia
hooting?
and Southeast Asia specifically, it's custom to just give a little hoot or a beep here and there to tell people that you are around them. It's like a sign to say,
So we're talking about a horn here, honking, was we would call it. I've never heard of hooting. Am I following that correctly? It seems like it.
hey, I'm here, be aware of me. It's not in any way aggression or somebody showing their anger towards you like it is in the States or here in South Africa.
Yeah, definitely in the U.S., this is not something that you do on a regular basis. The horn is reserved for, hey, you're about to hit me. Maybe occasionally, like if you're if you're driving down the street and you see someone you might honk the horn to get their attention and wave. But yeah, generally, honking the horn is considered a very aggressive thing to do when driving in the U.S.
Where if somebody even touches that hooter, it means war. It's not the same in Southeast Asia, so just don't get angry with it.
There's virtually no road rage on the roads in Asia.
Well, that would
Number
be
7,
nice.
don't drive without a helmet or an international driving permit. We are constantly hearing horror stories about people driving recklessly on their island and either losing their lives or ending up in a coma in one of the local hospitals.
We urge you to just drive responsibly on the road, be patient, and just be lacquer. It's the island life, bro. Relax. There's no need for road rage, speed, or impatience. Also, don't drive a motorbike unless you are experienced. The driving in Bali is very different to the rest of the world. The roads are tiny, there's a lot of traffic, and there's this thing that happens where if there's traffic and a lot of cars backed up, the bikes are actually expected to start driving on the walkway. And
Oh, wow.
honestly, if you're not used to it and if you're a short person like me, this can be very difficult and it's super intimidating. I've been driving a motorbike in Southeast Asia for about 3 years now, and I'm still very intimidated by the driving in Bali. So please, if you're not experienced, don't even try and get onto a motorbike.
All right,
All right, so they started that by saying drive with a helmet. We are just talking about motorcycles here, right? Not in a car. And that's, it depends on where you're at in the U.S. as to whether or not that is required by law. Some states have helmet laws, some don't. I personally think it's crazy not to wear a helmet on a motorcycle. But, there's, a lot of people who vehemently disagree with that. I would not drive or ride on a motorcycle, well, probably at all, to be honest with you, but definitely not without a helmet.
Number 8, following on from the previous, accidents do happen, so we advise you not to go to the island without travel insurance.
We've heard a lot of stories about expats coming to the island, getting into motorbike accidents, and then landing up in hospital and not able to afford their medical bills or not being insured. And this makes it a very difficult situation for the staff at the hospital and of course the expat community as well, because they now have to start GoFundMes and their friends have to do it and try and cover their costs. It's just a huge issue. So just make sure you've got travel insurance before you travel to the island, because these things do happen and you don't want to find yourself in the same situation as some people.
I don't know if that's something I would have thought about or not, to be honest with you. It sounds like, Indonesia does not have, nationalized health care. We don't in the U.S. either. Most of us have, private health insurance, usually through your employer. And I don't know, it never really occurred to me that wouldn't be, valid to be used, overseas. Is just something I haven't thought about before. I haven't traveled outside of the U.S. in a long time. Interesting.
And recently, we've been hearing a ton of people losing their luggage. Literally every airline has had a luggage issue these days, so definitely get that travel insurance, which will cover you if you have lost
Why
luggage.
is there
Seems to be
so many
happening a lot these days.
problems with
Also, if
lost
you have
luggage?
to stay behind and wait for your baggage and you need a hotel room, Safety Wing will pay for that too. It's so easy to sign up for Safety Wing. It takes you literally 10 minutes and you can cancel whenever you want. It's basically like a Netflix subscription. We highly recommend it. The link will be down in the description.
It doesn't look
Number
like it's
9,
expensive.
and
That's
from a
good.
fellow animal lover like me, don't get too comfortable with the animals on the island. There are
What?
so many stray dogs on the island and it's actually a huge issue. And we say don't get too comfortable with them because some of them are really aggressive and territorial, and they carry a lot of diseases as well. They walk around in their doggy gangs and we personally experience their hostility. They
Doggy
are not very
gangs?
friendly when they're amongst each other, and they go around the neighborhood terrorizing other animals and humans as well. The odd Bali dog coming up to you is totally fine, but we find that when they're in their little packs, they're a bit of a problem, and don't get too close to them. Actually, our friend Natalia was
Riding on her bike and she got chased.
She got chased by some neighborhood dogs, so just don't mess with the doggy gangs. Or any gangs for that matter. There are a number of NPOs on the island like BAWA that are doing incredible work by housing and taking care of the dogs as well.
Yeah, that was going to be my first question is, well, why aren't you doing something about all these stray dogs? That's not something we see in the U.S. really at all. Maybe I would say it's probably more likely in rural areas than in urban areas. Very, very rare to see a totally just stray dog. Most places, have animal shelters where if an animal is a stray and just running around with no owner, they will usually be picked up, taken to one of those shelters. Hopefully someone adopts them. Obviously it doesn't end well for them when they don't. And the shelters are overcrowded. But wow, that would be odd just to see tons of stray dogs around. And I love dogs. I just recently lost my dog of 14 years. This would be hard for me to get used to, just because I'd probably want to pet every one of the puppers that I see.
As well as neutering female dogs. So if you're interested in seeing what they are up to and how you can help, then the link will be down in the description as well.
We actually went to a BALI organized event, and it was puppy yoga, and then you got to know the little puppies, and if you wanted you could take one home to look after, which is really cool.
And that yoga also raised a whole bunch of funds to try and help neuter dogs on the island.
Another animal to be aware of on the island of Bali are the monkeys. They are literal bully thieves.
Bully thieves!
Okay, I've seen some of
You can
this.
find them mostly in the wood forests and down in Uluwatu at some of the beaches. Just be super aware of them. They're just honestly looking to find anything. They took my Ray-Bans glasses case out of the side of my bag one day and literally ran off with it. And luckily I was able to retrieve it.
Yeah, if you don't know, Red is actually pretty blind without his glasses, so if he lost those...
And
yeah,
some
that would
people
be a problem for me
lose their
too.
passports too. So
Oh God.
you don't want your passport running off into the forest.
Oh, that would be a
honestly,
nightmare.
These monkeys are really cute looking, but
They are
they
cute.
are so naughty. And finally, number
That
10.
I have seen quite a few videos. I think it was Indonesia, even where I saw a monkey on a motorcycle, like grabbing a baby. That's insane. It doesn't surprise me as much though about the monkeys as it does the dogs. To be quite honest with you, do the dogs and the monkeys ever go to war with each other or anything like that?
And I've said this before, don't drink the tap water. This
Okay,
is
why
where the
not?
infamous barley belly comes from, and also street food and stuff like that. But if you're on the island for a short period of time, I'd highly suggest that you drink bottled water, you brush your teeth with bottled water, and you wash all fruits and veg with bottled water. And if you're worried about plastic consumption and sustainability, then you can do what we do. Buy yourself your own bottle and then purchase these big 25-liter water bottles. And basically, once you're done with the big bottle, you can leave it at the bin outside or take it back to where you bought it from, and they reuse that bottle. They clean it and give it to someone else filled with new water. Or if you want some more water, you can purchase another one. They can refill it for you.
So this one doesn't strike me as completely odd. We have, very much the same thing. When Americans visit Mexico, they tell you the same thing. Don't drink the water, only use bottled water. And I assume that this is just for people who are visiting, right? Like if you're there and you're used to it, I guess, I don't know, you're used to it and it doesn't bother you. I saw when I was looking for videos to do this with, I did see a video about Bali belly. I didn't know what that was, so it sounds kind of like the same thing as, like I said, in Mexico. What was it I always used to heard that called? Yeah, Montezuma's Revenge. That was kind of the slang phrase used about not drinking the water down there.
And boom, no plastic waste. Anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there is anything that we left out of this video, please comment it down below. If there's anything important you think tourists and travelers to the island of Bali should know, let us know in the comments down below.
We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe so that other people can see this video, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Cool, very cool. Yeah, definitely some interesting things there. I certainly would have never guessed about the dogs. So not at all surprised about the drugs thing. The one thing I am curious about though, what about alcohol? Is alcohol legal in Indonesia? I know in a lot of Muslim countries it is not legal. Obviously that's a huge difference with America and most Western countries. So let me know about that in the comments. I'm very curious if you're allowed to have a beer or whatnot in Indonesia. Well, thank you all very much for watching. This has been fun and interesting. I'm definitely going to check out a few more of these videos just because, like I said, I get so many views from Indonesia, and I'm really not that educated on it other than knowing that it's a beautiful place, although that is starting to change. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. My name's Mike, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.